Hi there everyone, welcome back to Ye Olde Gamers. My name is Tim and this is Shadow of Mordor. We are back with Brand them All. This is something I haven't done for a while. Yeah, lots of life things got in the way. For those of you who don't know, who don't sort of follow or look at my vlog channel, or in fact, because I haven't posted there in months either. For those of you who do and have just forgotten, I have severe depression and anxiety, and they have been getting steadily, not even steadily worse. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest, all ups and downs. But it's not been great. Let's just put it that way. So I thought I would just sort this out and actually get back to editing. It took me a while because the version of Vegas Pro I was originally using, yeah, it was kind of shady. Let's put it that way. It might not all have been above board. That's all I'm going to say. But it ended up being that I was able to get it recently on the Humble Bundle for, I think, 25 quid for a whole load of Sony Vegas, Sony sort of products. So I've got Music Maker and all sorts of things. So the theme tune is probably going to be changing as well at some point. Uh, that has been a bad thing as well. I've lost contact with a lot of people. The people who were originally doing this with me, Tim Blake, Wharton Butcher, whatever his name was, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, no relation. All the people that were playing games with me and had been playing games with me no longer really are. That's mostly my own fault through lack of contact. Again, depression, anxiety, very difficult to keep contact with people. But at the same time, I kind of should be maintaining contact because it helps with my mental health and things like that. It's not a great situation. It's not a great situation to be in, having mental health problems. Anyway, that's enough complaining about that. This is Shadow of Mordor. I still have all the footage of this. This was saved to an external hard drive, which was perfect because I think... No, I started this... Did I start this on my gaming laptop? I'm still using the same laptop, I think. And this is just mostly the hunting missions today. I basically just gone through, I've cut 50 minutes of footage down to about 20 minutes, mostly through cutting a lot of cutscenes and a lot of walking. There's a lot of just running and walking about in Shadow of Mordor, which to their credit, they made a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do, was just the running around and sneaking around and things like that. And, oh god, it's just sort of... I remember the whole game being really fun. There's no other open world game where I've felt like I've been having as much fun as in Shadow of Mordor, because every situation sort of gets this sort of feeling of evolving chaos. You know, the story never just finishes with you really killing one person unless you execute it perfectly. So you get that sense of achievement when you actually sort of just stealthily kill someone and nothing happens. But then, like, if that doesn't happen, if you end up sort of attracting a load of attention, you're in this big fight almost immediately, and it's sort of the whole dynamic changes. And I think while it could have done with having some of the powers being unlocked very quickly or very early, I think the progression was a bit too slow. But while I think it could have done with having some of the powers unlocked a little earlier, like, oh god, the detonate, being able to detonate crates of explosives and campfires, that should have been like a really early one, I think, because that is just sort of, that then becomes essential as soon as you unlock it. There's sort of others that are very similar to that. The brand is one I can understand because you don't want that sort of immediately. I think it's a good power to sort of unlock naturally through the story, which we do get to in this one. We at last get to 12 episodes into our Brand Them All challenge. We get to the branding power, and I think over a year since I actually started it. I'm just going to quickly check that because I can't believe that that's the case. But I think it has been over a year since I started this whole challenge, which feels ridiculous. Oh God, but I'm just glad I'm getting back into it now. Playlists. Oh no, because they do the stupid thing, don't they? This is going to do the stupid thing. So let's move that tab. Yeah, it's like, God, it's been so long since I actually did this. 19th, oh my God. Oh God, it's been over a year since I started this. And I think it's been, God, has it been over a year since? It's been like a year since I posted the last part. Yeah, geez. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. It has been a year and a week since part 11 was posted. And that is a little bit insane. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a little bit terrifying, actually. I didn't realize it had been so long. Uh, but okay, updates. In the year that it has been since I last posted a Brand Them All video, I tried to edit it in Lightworks. I still have that on my computer. I find it, I think, a little bit easier than I do Vegas Pro at the moment. Vegas Pro, I'm down with just the very, very basics of the editing. Lightworks, I can do a little bit more because they have the whole sort of very easy to find tutorials. They advertise their tutorials everywhere, and it's free software. You know, they know how it all works, and so they just sort of show you that, and it's really good, and it works really well. Um, but I prefer Vegas because it's what I've been using, and it's sort of, I know how to do the text, I know how to do the blur, I know how to sort of put everything together in it, and I find the way it does sound and fading very intuitive. You know, I can just push a couple of scenes together to fade between them, and that works really well for something like this, where I'm just sort of doing a little bit of a clip show. This is pretty much, we got to the Wildlands, I did the Beast Hunter missions, and then I did the main story mission where you get to brand people. And I did these ones first because I wanted the ability to brand to mount Caragors, and I wanted to get the shadow mount ability. It's been a long time since I last played this. I'm very sorry. I think I've actually uninstalled it from my computer by now as well. Yes, I've uninstalled it because I played through it. I branded everyone, and we'll get to that thrilling conclusion. This is great now because you get to listen to me as the omniscient narrator of this beautiful story that ends up unfolding. And it was a rather beautiful story that ended up unfolding in this whole scene. But, oh gosh, was this the last one filmed with Shadowplay? It might have been. Oh god, I remember. Do you remember Shadowplay? Do you remember when I used Shadowplay? For the last few bits of this, I filmed it using... What did I film it using? XSplit Gamecaster. Because that was, and still is, the one I find easiest. I've started using that for streaming as well, when I actually do streams. You know, I very rarely do, but when I do, I've started using XSplit because it's a little bit easier than setting up OBS for everything. Plus, you know, it works with full screen things. It doesn't just do windowed stuff. And I think that's the main difference. I think that's sort of why I tend to use it. I don't go all in with XSplit. You know, if I'm doing something I can do windowed, I'll tend to use OBS instead. So I did a Dice Funk stream not recently. I did a Dice Funk stream around the new year, I think, where I talked about the Dice Funk season 3 finale, which, if you don't know it, Dice Funk is an actual play D&D podcast with sort of totally separate series, so you don't have to have watched the previous series to understand what's going on in the later ones. Although it does help sometimes because they do a lot of referencing the previous series, and they are fun. So, you know, go back and listen to them. I think I've listened to season 2 3 times, and season 3 like twice, and they're really good. But yeah, sort of in the spirit of New Year, New Me, I'm getting back into editing, video editing. I've got some time now, so I'm doing that. I'm going to meet up some things. I've got a gaming group that I've found that I'm trying to meet with semi-regularly now. I had surgery last year, minor thing, something that was wrong, but sort of needed surgery to get fixed. So I had to do that. That happened right around exam time for me. So, you know, that wasn't great. Depression and anxiety messed with me a whole lot at the end of my university year, but I graduated, so now I have a degree in English and creative writing. all that good stuff mixed in with the bad stuff. And in general, it's just sort of been a bit of a wild year. A lot of things going on, most of it depression. I got a full-time job, which has been helping a little bit. I'm looking for a new place to live, because right now, living with my parents, it's not great. And I sort of need a bit more space and things, and it's sort of... Getting back into editing is one of the first steps. It's something I've enjoyed, and then I just sort of stopped doing, because I didn't even run out of time. I just lost the motivation and the inclination and the energy to do it. And now I'm sort of getting back into it, and I'm remembering why I enjoy it. And this was something simple and quick that I could just cut, put in a couple of fades, do the whole text stuff. It feels familiar. I've not forgotten most of this stuff. There are a couple of things I do want to add. Just to streamline the process, there were some problems there. I had a couple of problems while editing this. I had to start over a couple of times because, to be honest, I've forgotten how to sort out a couple of things. One of the things I want to sort out is really streamlining the trimming process. I don't know how the trimmer in Sony Vegas works. I'm terrible. Like I say, I'm absolutely the worst. I know only the very basics at this. But the very basics have enabled me to create some very good videos in the past, and hopefully in the future. Seriously, one of my favourites was the Sky Shines Bedlam video. I thought that was pretty good. Cluster Truck as well, the first one that I did for the official Yield Gamers channel. Which everything on that channel, everything I've done for that channel, I felt better about doing it than I did when I was throwing all this stuff onto Adorable Smile. I think the only thing I liked more was Doom on the original channel, but even that, I look back on it and there's so much more I could have done better. I think it's a bad idea now to just sort of record... Oh God, I feel like it's a bad idea to record my voice onto the video, because it always gets a little bit lost. Everything's a little bit too quiet on there. And if I don't record the microphone through the recording software, which XSplit allows me to do, I can turn off my microphone and just have the gaming footage and the sounds from the game coming through. I can probably, if it doesn't take too much processing power, I can probably bring up Audacity in the background and have that recording my voice while I'm playing, and that'll give me a much better sound. I can edit the voice separately and make it louder, because that's always been a problem, is I've been too quiet. And that's another thing as well, I think, when I get a new place. Right now, every plan is when I get a new place. This was one of those things as well, was when I get a new place, I'm going to start editing videos again. But I've got this whole backlog of Shadow of Mordor that I can just go through, and I can edit that all down, and I can do a few more videos on it. I can record and edit Besiege as well, because that's another one I've got to finish. I've got essentially 2 completes running in a row, and Besiege has updated massively since I last did a video on it, which again was probably about a year ago. But oh my gosh, and I need to get back into doing spoiler warning. You see, there's all these things. When was it? Yeah, over a year ago. Yeah, like all that stuff needs doing. I haven't even got a profile picture for Ye Olde Gamers. I'm tempted to start up GIMP again and try learning that once more. Get something I can put in for Ye Olde Gamers and Adorable Smile, because right now it's my face and it's not a particularly great picture. But all those things are things that sort of, I was always thinking, when I get a new place I'll do it. But, I've got a desk here, I've got a chair, I've got this little computer space. That's pretty much all I've got, is this computer space. Everything else is sort of a bit of a mess at the moment. And I feel like I don't have a lot of room to do the creative stuff I want to do. But I've got my computer space, I've got my games, everything to do with recording and editing games I can do on my computer. And this week has been a good week, and it just sort of felt right to start editing again. You know, I had the I had the all the footage, you know, on my external hard drive. I had all the software installed. I just needed to go through and sort of make an account with Sony and start up Vegas Pro for the first time again. This time, legit, it feels so good to have a legit copy that is up to date and just feels good. And you know, I just, even if it's before work or after work, I can just open up my laptop and edit for a little bit. I can get the stuff I can watch a bit of a video. I can go, okay, that needs cutting, that needs cutting, that needs cutting. I can cut, and I can just, you know, because this is the simplest series. It is just cut all the walking bits, cut any action that's boring or repetitive, and that's why, you know, there are fights I leave in here. I think they're the good fights, pretty much. I leave bits of cinematics so I can just, you know, where we are. You know, you can tell that I'm doing a Beast Hunter mission because that dwarf's in there. What's his name? Torvin? Is that him? I honestly can't remember. Because that's how long it's been. Torbjorn, that's his name. No, that's the other one. That's the Overwatch one. But yeah, it's. I wasn't doing anything today, and I realised I wasn't doing anything. I was sort of just looking at YouTube, going, "Please let there be something new or something I want to watch." Because I picked up a couple extra channels. I think I've decided on a direction I want to go, which was not a direction I'd thought about before, but I enjoy learning things and I enjoy sort of sharing those things. My younger brother picked this up from me, I think, but he's basically a little informational parrot, and I can do that too, where I will just sort of pick up a piece of information and then I can just talk about it. You know, I can parrot that back at any point, and it's sort of I'd really like to just sort of be an informational channel. You know, I'd like to be able to sort of teach a little bit, like Stand Up Maths or Tom Scott. Tom Scott was the big one that sort of inspired me because he does these little short videos, these things you might not know videos. If I could do that, but for mental health, that would be really interesting. Not even like this is what anxiety is, this is how to combat it, but like these are the different types of therapy you can go for, and these are what they do, and things like that, and just something a little bit nice and easy, you know? A little bit, I can make short videos, I can go out, I can just take my camera somewhere, and I can film for 5 minutes, and that's me done. And that's something I have a lot of difficulty with, for those of you who do not know me. And it's sort of, it'll be the opposite of my gaming videos where I film for an hour or two and cut that down to 20 minutes of footage into one episode. And it's that sort of, that difference that is important to me. Like, I don't want to be creating 15-20 minute vlogs. I don't want to be creating unboxing videos anymore. I don't feel like I'm adding anything with them, and I sort of don't like a lot of the stuff I'm getting. Like, I haven't got a loot box in ages, in months and months and months, probably in over a year again, because I just sort of, you know, they're tat, and I've got enough tat now, I think. I need to stop with the tat and start actually doing stuff with the things I have. And there are a couple of things that I want to do, a couple of projects. I know I mentioned before video games and things, and that's something I'm still working on. I've still got Game Maker, and I'm still sort of in the works with that. But, you know, I'm looking at Python as well. I'm looking at sort of programming and every level of it, really, is what I want to look at. 'Cause, yeah, that's the thing I need to talk about. And it's just sort of, I want to make those videos where I can tell people about stuff that interests me and about stuff that I'm dealing with. And I don't want to do that in a way that takes 20 odd minutes like these videos do. But, you know, in these videos, at least you get to watch orcs fighting, and at least you get to watch me jumping on Caragors. You know, you don't like... God, that still annoys me. Why did they go with Caragors? Like, they could have gone with Wargs, but they didn't. Because they wanted their own little special thing. And as a result, it's awful. And I hate it. Yeah. That's my feelings on Caragors. But yeah, I think I'm getting towards the end. But yeah, that was a big old talk about me and depression and where I've been for a year. And yeah, this year's been a bit weird, and it's going to get weirder still, I think. But I'm getting on top of it, and I'm feeling better after a week of doing absolutely nothing, which was fantastic. I think that's me pretty much done. So, from YOLD Gamers and from myself, I've been Tim. This has been Shadow of Mordor. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.